Okay guys, I have always wanted to do an all elemental forces of nature army. So what we're going to do is 3 different types: earth, water, and fire. I've already got the earth types done, so I'm going to show you my progress as my road to 3rd edition for my water and fire elementals that round out the force. Starting out with the greater water elemental, this is a gorgeous hunk of resin that has got tentacles climbing up on it, fish swimming through it, ship wreckage floating around. It's fantastic. Assembly is pretty simple. All I gotta do is clip off a little bit of extra sprue bits, clean up some mold lines, maybe a little bit of flash, glue it together, and it's ready to go. As soon as it's cleaned up, I'm gonna stick it into a bowl of warm water that I've mixed some dish soap into, let it soak for a little bit, and then scrub it. This gets that release agent off of there, and it makes things stick a lot better. So your glue's gonna stick better, and also your paint's gonna stick better. That's really kind of a critical step, and a lot of people miss this. So any kind of resin bits, this is a really good idea. After I let it dry from getting scrubbed, I'm gonna dry fit the pieces together to make sure that they fit. This is also gonna give me a really good idea of any kind of gaps I might need to fill. I use a plastic putty that's actually ground marble dust from Vallejo that John Green recommended to me, and it's a fantastic product. I highly recommend it. It's really easy to pick up on something like Amazon. You can put this into the gaps where the models don't fully connect. That way there are no visible spaces and everything's nice and clean when you go to paint it later on. I dab away the excess with a moist paper towel, and then all that's left is to glue it together, which isn't always as simple as you'd think. So there he is, finished assembly, and now it's on to the regular water elementals. This one is a metal kit that has the bases included with it. 2 of the elementals are all one solid piece except for their bases, which are separate, and then one last elemental, the arms, are separate pieces. So my first step is to match up the model with the appropriate base. There are some sweet little nubs that help you line up the 2 together. You can also use the box art if you need to in order to get a visual representation of where they're supposed to go. I'm not gonna lie, this can be kind of tricky. Metal models are a little bit tougher to line up together. And because the material's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit tougher for them to stick together. This is where some people like to use a pinning technique where they drill a hole and bind it with some sort of metal rod, like a paper clip. That way the 2 pieces have additional support when you glue them together. It's not just the joint with some super glue there. But you know, I got this. I've been doing this for like years, decades, right? So I can glue this no problem. Yeah, just clean a little bit if you have to, and you know, try again. I'm just kidding, guys. This is actually Jesse assembling these things. This isn't me at all. I don't know what he's doing. He stole my camera. He's doing this. He uploaded it himself. Haha, I'm just kidding, guys. It was me the whole time. I got it. Just some last little bits of cleanup doing the plastic putty. And then I'm gonna let this stuff dry for a little while. I wanna make sure that the putty is completely cured before I throw the primer on it and start painting, because that would be a nightmare if it wasn't. Water elementals, greater water elemental, everything's ready to roll. On to the next step. I'm gonna do some priming and then we'll start painting. Excited to get these guys done.